Welcome to the Aboriginal channel. On this episode, we're going to be looking at forts and castles that Aboriginal Americans built. So right here on the screen, we got St. Augustine over in Florida. Now, the fort we're talking about is right here, this star-shaped one, or this four-sided with a square opening in the middle. This fort right here on the coast of Florida. Says it was completed in 1695. It was attacked in 1702, and then again it was besieged in 1740 by a British colony of Georgia, General James Oglethorpe, who was also unable to take the fort. And it's saying that the Spanish was fighting the British, but it speaks no mention to any of the Indians in these fights. So that lets you know right there who was really fighting. Then down here you got what is called the Second Spanish Period. It says during the Second Spanish Period from 1784 to 1821 of Florida, Spain was dealing with invasions. Pause. So we know that the First Seminole War started before 1821. So the Indians in Florida were fighting pretty much whoever was trying to invade it. But rather say that here, they're saying that it was part of the Second Spanish Period where the Spanish people in Florida were being invaded. However, we know that that's a lie. Just like it's a lie when they say that this Spanish guy built this fort that I just showed you with the 4 points on the ends. And I wouldn't be so sure of that if I wouldn't have stumbled upon another fort in another area. Over in Alabama, in the county of Elmore, there's what is called Fort Toulouse. And right here, we're looking at an aerial view of it. I'm going to zero in a little bit. Now you see the 4 points on this outlining of a building that used to be there. Well, right up the way from it, right here, is a replica. As you see this one right here, this is the replica of it, the 4 points on the ends. Then when I went and looked up some information on it at NorthAmericanForts.com, says the original French fort, formerly named Fort Toulouse, Ox, Alabama, was first constructed in 1717. So they're saying that it was built by the French. But once again, have you ever heard of the French being in Alabama? No. And then on another hand, they said that the Spanish built the one in Florida, and we know that French and the Spaniards always were warm with each other back then. So how could they have the same exact shape structure? It's just no way. It goes on to say that it was in ruins by 1775. Then American Fort Jackson was built there from 1814 to 1819 when the town and fort were abandoned in 1819. And that's because Indians were going at the Europeans real tough right around that time. And it's kind of odd that the town and the fort were abandoned in 1819 when Alabama became a state or took statehood around that same time. It goes on to say that the actual site of the first French fort has been partially eroded away by the Coosa River. So that was the one where we seen the outline of it. Then it says the earthworks and log guardhouse of the American fort have been partially reconstructed. It says a large Mississippian Indian mound circa 1100 is located at the junction of Coosa and Tallapoosa rivers. So there's a major big mound right there too as well. But I want to take the time right here at the end of this video because this will be part 1. So I want to just ask you a question and you can give me an answer in the comment section and tell me if I'm seeing things or if I'm on to something. So right here we have the replica. Then when we move down some, we got the shape right here. I want you to remember how this goes. Straight line, like a square in the middle, and then 4 diamond shapes at each end. Then when we go over here a little bit further, let me bag up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna move over this way a little bit. Now, right here in this grass area, I'm seeing a shape right here where the cursor is at, kind of like going into a diamond right there, right here. And then a straight line going this way. If you follow the cursor, you go down, it looks like it might have been a diamond shape right down here as well. Then if you go on the other side, it looked like it was a diamond shape right here. If you look at the cursor, how it's going, and then look at the grass where I'm pointing. And then up here as well, you have a little something right here. So I'm thinking if you look at it as a whole, like see right here, that line, I think there was also one right there too, a fortification with those same diamond shapes at every end of the square shape in the middle. If you go back over to where the other fort is at, you'll see that it's kind of sort of by how this water is right here. They would have their back up against the water where the water would play a defensive mechanism. But once again, I'm going to go around what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that there's might have been some type of diamond shape right here, across here as well, just because of the indention in the grass I'm looking at right here. You see it? Okay. And you go down, then you see this one that flares out right here. Go over. And here's again its shape. You can see it more clearly over here, this straight line right here, and then going down like that. But go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section and subscribe if you haven't. Share the video. I'm going to be doing a lot of parts to these because there's a lot of ground to cover. The significance behind showing those fortifications that used to be right there in Elmore County in Alabama, and showing the information from the website where the town and the fort was vacated by the settlers in 1819. It says right here that Elmore County was founded in 1866, indicating that Indians, American Indians, were at those forts defending themselves up until the end of the Civil War. Through the history books, which has all been a lie. So therefore, if it's a lie, then what's the truth? If it's a lie, then what's